The Immortals Island in Joseon, 23. Lu Hongxuan, 24, and Lu Zhongtong of Zhongshan once went on a mission to Korea with a military officer. They heard that Anchi Island, 25, in Korea was a place where immortals lived, so they wanted to take a boat to visit. The ministers of the Korean country all said no, asking them to wait for a person named Xiao Zhang. It turns out that Anchi Island does not interact with the human world. Only the disciple Xiao Zhang on the island comes once or twice a year. People who want to go to the island must first explain to Xiao Zhang. If Xiao Zhang thinks it is possible to go, they can get on the boat and arrive safely with a smooth sail. Otherwise, the boat will be overturned by a hurricane. After Ada Wire 2, the king of Korea summoned Lu Zhongtong. After Zhongtong went to court, he saw that there was still one person sitting in the hall. This person was in his 30s, wearing a treasure sword, a brown hat, neat and tidy and solemn. Lu Zhongtong asked, knowing that he was Xiao Zhang. Zhongtong then told him about his desire to go to Anchi Island. Xiao Zhang agreed, but also said, "Your deputy cannot go." Then he left the palace and looked at Lu Zhongtong's followers again, saying that only 2 people could follow. So, Xiao Zhang prepared a boat and led Lu Zhongtong and others to go together. Lu Zhongtong sat on the boat, not knowing how far the journey was. Just feeling the wind rustling. Like riding the clouds and driving the fog, it arrived at Anchi Island in an hour. It was the severe winter at that time, but when I arrived on the island, the climate was warm as spring, and flowers bloomed all over the valley. Xiao Zhang led Lu Zhongtong into the cave mansion and saw that there were 3 old men sitting cross-legged inside. The people on both sides of the east and the west saw the guests coming in, as if they hadn't seen them. Only the old man sitting in the middle got up to greet the guests, and they met each other. After sitting down, the old man called the boy to serve tea. A boy took the plate and walked out. There was an iron awl on the stone wall outside the cave, and the tip of the awl was inserted into the stone. The boy pulled out the iron awl, and water sprayed out immediately. The boy caught it with a cup. After filling it up, he inserted the iron awl back into its original place. The boy brought the tea to Lu Zhongtong. Zhongtong saw that the tea was light green, tried a bite, and his teeth shivered from the cold. He was afraid of the cold and didn't drink it. The old man looked at the boy and signaled him to take it away. The boy took the teacup away and drank the rest. He still came to the stone wall just now, pulled out the iron awl, and refilled a cup. Lu Zhongtong tasted this cup of tea, felt a mouthful of fragrance, and the heat hit his face, as if it had just been burned. He was secretly surprised. Lu Zhongtong asked the old man about his future fate, and the old man laughed and said, "We people outside the world don't even know the years. How can we predict the things in the world?" Lu Zhongtong asked about the technique of immortality, and the old man said, "This is not something you rich people can do." Lu Zhongtong got up and said goodbye, and Xiao Zhang still sent him back. After returning to Korea, Lu Zhongtong told the king about his experiences on Anchi Island. The king sighed and said, "It's a pity you didn't drink that cup of cold tea. That is the jade liquid from heaven. Drinking a cup can extend your life by 100 years. Lu Zhongtong was preparing to return to his country, and the king of Korea gave him a gift wrapped in layers of paper and also instructed him not to open it near the sea. As soon as Lu Zhongtong got off the boat and landed, he hurriedly took it out to look. After unwrapping hundreds of layers of paper, he finally saw a mirror. He looked carefully at the mirror and saw the scene of the dragon palace in the sea appearing on the mirror. Inside, dragons were flying and dancing vividly in sight. As he was watching in fascination, he suddenly saw a wave higher than a building rising from the sea, rushing towards him with great momentum. Lu Zhongtong was extremely scared and hurriedly fled. The wave chased after him relentlessly, fast as a storm. Lu Zhongtong was terrified and hurriedly threw the mirror towards the sea wave, and the sea wave immediately fell. A strange town. Li Jilin once served as the county magistrate of Yuanjiang. When he first took office, he was surprised to see the hall full of dogs and cats. His subordinates told him, "These are the common people from the countryside, coming to admire your grace." After a while, half of the dogs and cats had turned into humans. After a while longer, all the dogs and cats had turned back into humans and left one after another. One day, when Li Jilin was out meeting guests and was walking on the road in his sedan chair, suddenly one of the sedan bearers said in a hurry, "I have been injured." He asked others to carry the sedan for him and knelt down to ask Li Jilin for leave. Li Jilin scolded him angrily, but the sedan bearer didn't listen and ran away. Li Jilin sent people to follow him. The sedan bearer ran to the market and found an old man to treat him. The old man looked at him and said, "You have been injured." So he used his hand to knead and press his flesh, pushing hard from top to bottom. When he pushed to the calf, he saw a lump of flesh bulging under the skin, cut it open with a sharp knife, took out a stone from inside, and said, "It's done." Then the sedan bearer ran back. Later, it was heard that there was a custom in this place where some people could lie in their own bedrooms, and their hands could fly out and enter other people's houses to steal property. If the owner found out and tied his hand to prevent it from returning, then this person's hand would be disabled.